Have you ever chased a goal with everything you have, you finally get there, and then just nothing? It's a really strange and, surprisingly common feeling. So today, we're going to dive into this paradox, that feeling of emptiness that can show up right after a huge success. I mean, it's a powerful question, isn't it? You got the promotion, you finished the marathon, you got the thing you always dreamed of. And yeah, there's a celebration, the congratulations eventually fade, and then you're just left with this quiet, kind of hollow feeling. In this explainer, we're going to unpack exactly what's going on there, and more importantly, why it happens.
All right, so first, let's talk about the journey itself, the trip to what we can call the empty summit. It's this three-part emotional story that I think a lot of us are going to recognize.
Okay, so first, there's the climb. You know this part. This is the hustle, the grind. It's the part we love to talk about. Your whole life is pointed in one direction. Every single obstacle you overcome, it's like a little victory, the shot of energy that just keeps you going. It's tough, for sure, but it's also incredibly clear. You know exactly what you're doing. It's full of purpose. And then you do it. You actually make it. The peak. That one single moment you've been waiting for. You cross the finish line, you close the deal, and there's this huge rush of adrenaline and relief and pride. You think, okay, this is it. This is what it was all for. The view from the top. But after that peak moment, well, that's when the silence creeps in. The music just stops. That huge driving force that told you where to go for so long is suddenly gone. And in its place, there's this weird, quiet void. That amazing feeling you were so sure was going to last forever, it just evaporates. And that really gets to the heart of the whole thing. You're holding the prize in your hand, but that feeling of fulfillment, where is it? It makes you question everything you just did. So to figure out why this happens, we really need to look at a psychological trap that, honestly, we all fall into from time to time. So what is going on here in our heads? Well, it pretty much all comes down to this really powerful trap called the illusion of success.
Some psychologists actually have a name for this. They call it the arrival fallacy. And it's this deep-seated belief we have that some outside accomplishment, a trophy, a job title, whatever, is going to totally transform how we feel on the inside. We convince ourselves, once I get that, I'll be happy, that it's going to be a permanent fix for our self-doubt. But that's a promise that external goals just can't keep.
And this comparison right here, this is everything. See, on one side, you've got the external goals that society tells us to chase, right? Promotions, awards, getting recognition. The real things you can point to, but the feeling they give you is often super temporary. Now, on the other side, you have the internal states we're actually craving. Things like peace, a sense of purpose, real self-worth. The trap is thinking that chasing the stuff on the left will magically give us the stuff on the right. And that's the big mistake we make, isn't it? We put all our emotional energy into the destination, into that finish line. But when we finally get there, we look back and realize the growth, the purpose, the connection, that was the real prize all along. It was in the running. Okay, so if chasing the summit just leads to this empty feeling, what's the alternative? Well, the answer isn't to just stop climbing. It's to change what you're actually searching for on the way up. And that leads us to the solution. The search for meaning. Now, this is a huge shift in perspective. It's saying that success isn't some place you finally arrive at. Instead, it's a state of being. It's something you build and cultivate along the way. The goal isn't to get somewhere so you can finally feel at peace. The goal is to find peace with who you are right now on the path you're on. So, what does this new kind of success even look like? Well, it's pretty much built on these three pillars. You've got inner peace, just being content with yourself without needing someone else to tell you you're doing a good job. Then there's authentic purpose, doing things that are actually meaningful to you, not just things that look impressive to other people. And finally, unconditional self-worth, knowing that your value as a person isn't tied to your latest win or your latest loss. And that, of course, is the real challenge. I mean, we live in a world that is constantly screaming about external achievements. So how do we tune all that noise out and start listening to that quieter internal voice? Which brings us to our last section, how to develop your inner compass. This is really all about taking this idea and turning it into something you can actually practice in your own life. I love this quote because it just reframes the whole conversation. It shifts success from being about accumulation, what you have, to being about acceptance, who you are. And man, that is a much more stable and fulfilling foundation to build your life on. So I want to leave you with this final thought to chew on. Just take a second and really think about it. If you took away the audience, the likes, the applause, what would a truly successful day look and feel like for you? What would you do? How would you want to feel? The answer to that question, well, it might just be the first step on a much more meaningful path.